This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Roundtable Sports Network brings you NFL divisional debate coverage on a weekly basis from your favorite content creators across YouTube, featuring the AFC East Roundtable live Monday and Wednesday evenings, the AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST, the NFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST, the NFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The NFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The AFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The NFC East Roundtable live Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST. Roundtable Sports. Real coverage from real fans.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Roundtable Sports. We got a special one for you this evening. The playoff predictions are in. All right, we have created the playoff predictions. We're going to go through them together. But before we do, we want you to know that this stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits with BetUS, up to $2,000, okay? Take advantage of that. The link is in the description of the video. It is also pinned at the top of the chat, all right? If you're looking for a sports book, BetUS is the place to be. Easy, fast payouts for you.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you follow the link in the description of the video if you want to check out BetUS. Remember to gamble responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get into this. We finally created the AFC and NFC playoff predictions, all right? We've ranked them 1 through 7, the teams that I feel will be making the playoffs on both sides of the conferences, all right? First off, I'm gonna put it up on the screen and I'm gonna explain everything, but I know I'm probably gonna upset a lot of people, but this is just how it goes. You let me know what you think about these predictions. You let me know where I got it right or where I got it wrong. But without further ado, let's get into it. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Playoff picture. Tony Dowd's predictions are in with Roundtable Sports. Let's start over in the AFC. We're going to go down to the bottom with the Cincinnati Bengals. Already in a loaded division. The Cincinnati Bengals look to get back to prominence like they've done over the last several years, led by Joe Burrow. We all know that the Cincinnati Bengals had a snag in the road last year when they lost Joe Burrow to an injury. Chase has showed up to practice. T. Higgins is showing up to practice. So it looks like they would like to pick up where they left off before Joe Burrow got hurt. Now, it's going to be a rough start. Now, this is a team that could win anything between 9 and 13 games, if you ask me. But I think it's going to be a slow start because they start slow every season, first of all, if you haven't noticed. But they will make the playoffs because they'll get that rhythm and they'll get to going as the season progresses. But look for Joe Burrow to be back and look for Joe Burrow to play high-level football and hopefully for the Bengals early on. But we shall see. Moving right along, the Cleveland Browns. This is the team that really showed last year that with or without the quarterback, they can still win games. Now, Deshaun Watson is on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, and at the end of the day, he has to show up and show out for his team this year. Now, I understand some people would argue, well, hold on, Deshaun Watson last year before he got hurt, he was 5-1. Yes, this is true. He didn't do enough to hurt his team, but he definitely has a lot in him that could help his team. And I look for a lot of that to come out this year in helping his team, ladies and gentlemen. But with that being said, he's also in a loaded division. So it's going to be some bumps in the roads. It's not going to be easy, but I look for them to be the 6th seed going 11-6 over the Cincinnati Bengals, who will be going 10-7. All right. The New York Jets are next. This team is loaded, ladies and gentlemen. They look to make a Super Bowl run this year. Somebody asked, then why do I have them in the wild card, because we don't know what to expect from this Aaron Rodgers era. We don't know if he's going to start out the gate on fire or if there's going to be some rough patches early on to where they have to rev up themselves. Plus, they're in a loaded division as well, having to go up against the Buffalo Bills, who played them well, the Miami Dolphins, who played them well. And although the Patriots are not a team of prominence as of right now, they still play each team tough in the division. Look for the Jets to tie with the Miami Dolphins at 11-6, but lose the tiebreaker. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move forward to the Houston Texans. All right, the Texans, up and coming team. They look to take over that division. Listen, they won it last year. Honestly, it was the Jags to lose, and that's what they did. But what did the Texans do this offseason? They loaded up in free agency and in trades, bringing in a ton of talent. One of the highlights of it is Stephon Diggs, giving them a wide receiver core that's probably top 10 or top 5 in the NFL. Plus CJ Stroud, you make life easier for him. This is a beautiful thing for the Houston Texans, ladies and gentlemen. Look for them to edge the Jacksonville Jaguars out, in which I had them going 10-7, just missing the playoffs with a tiebreaker with Cincinnati. So look for the Texans to win the division and take over that first home playoff game in NRG. All right. So congratulations to the Texans getting a home playoff game and winning the division. Number 3, the Miami Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen. This is a team that is also loaded. They have the best offensive player in the NFL, voted by his peers, Tyreek Hill. Tua continues to get better and better as a quarterback. And a lot of people believe down in Miami that he's going to unlock that final level this year, which is improvisational skills, being able to move fluidly with the ball in his hand and improvising and making things happen when things break down. All right. Also, one thing that's been reported is his ability to go through progressions out of camp has improved as well. So we look to see that take form this year, and they will have the same record that they had last year at 11-6, but they edge out the Jets in the tiebreaker, winning the division. So Miami gets a home game that they're going to need in January because they struggle playing teams in cold weather. Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, there's not much I can say here other than answering a lot of people's question of why don't I have them number 1? It's simple. They're not the best team in the AFC anymore, in my opinion. I believe that's the Baltimore Ravens, which we'll get to in a second. But the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to have one of their best years since Mahomes threw for over 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. I think he has a breakout year, adding Xavier Worthy, a speed demon on the outside. Looks like Rashee Rice may not even be suspended. So they have the weapons galore with Travis Kelce and company, all right? So Patrick Mahomes, look for him to have an MVP caliber season, just absolutely going off this year. But it will net them 12-5, although their division isn't as hard with the Raiders and the Chargers and company in the division. You just have to look at it as well that they do have some tough games. The first one of the week, starting literally this Thursday coming up versus Baltimore, which will show you, in my opinion, why the Baltimore Ravens are number 1. So I have the Kansas City Chiefs going 12-5, beautiful record, but missing out on that first round bye to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, number 1 with the Baltimore Ravens, man, oh man, 13-4, ladies and gentlemen. This team is ready. This team is always led by defense. Lamar Jackson continues to play at an MVP level as he secures his second MVP last year. And now you get him something that, you really want him to have, where he doesn't have to carry the load, an official run game. And I'm not talking about just does a running back have it or does Lamar have it? No, you get this man Derrick Henry and it's over for the NFL. Now, it's going to be that much harder to beat them, that much harder to game plan against them. And look for Lamar to have one of his best rushing seasons, because when he puts that ball in Derrick Henry's belly and he pulls it out and everybody's going Derrick Henry's way because you have to, he's going to be going off running the ball himself. So look for Lamar to have over 1,000 yards rushing this year. I am calling it. Derrick Henry to have over 1,000 yards rushing this year. And that offense to be one of the best in the league, one of the most scary and unstoppable. And that's going to lead them to the number 1 seed in the AFC. Baltimore, first round bye, home field advantage throughout, all the way to New Orleans if they can play great football in the playoffs and beat these opponents. All right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The AFC is set, and those are my predictions for the AFC. Before we go over to the NFC, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
All right, and we were just talking about the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs game. Go over to BetUS and check that game out. Those odds are up now. Take advantage of it, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a sports book. All right, let's go over to the NFC. Here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start at the bottom with the 7th seed, the Dallas Cowboys, ending the season 10-7. Why do I have them ending 10-7? Because this team is loaded. This team should be the best team in the NFC, or at least top 3 if you ask me. But the Cowboys always Cowboy. Now, I know Cowboy fans would say, what does that mean? Exactly what it's meant for the last 20 years, all the way back from since you started with Romo and now with Dak Prescott. The Cowboys will Cowboy. A team full of just great talent, but at the same token, for some strange reason, they can't put it together to win football games when it matters most. That's late in December and early in January when the playoffs start. So the Dallas Cowboys, led by Dak Prescott, who doesn't have a contract, by the way, who wants a contract, and Jerry Jones is in no rush to give him a contract. He will be leading the way, throwing the ball to CeeDee Lamb, who got his contract, and on the defensive side of the ball, Michael Parsons, who still hasn't gotten his either. Okay, so this team will be moving forward, trying to figure it out, and I think they have the same ending that they always have. They make it to the playoffs just skirting in, and who knows, will they win in the first round? We don't know, but I know if they fail, in comes Deion Sanders and Shadur Sanders and maybe even Travis Hunter. Jerry will figure it out. I'm just saying. Remember, you heard it here first. All right, let's move forward to the Green Bay Packers, also going 10-7, ladies and gentlemen. Man, Green Bay, one of the up-and-coming teams last year. Jordan Love having like the best 10-game stretch in the NFL last year. I believe he was about 19 or 20 to 1 interceptions, which is unbelievable, unreal, actually. Jordan Love's leading the way, and this is a team that is just well built all the way around. You know, they got every position, they just have really solid players. And I'm not saying elite. No, just solid. You know how some teams have a lot of 10 out of 10 players and a whole bunch of 4 out of 4s? 4 out of 10s, excuse me. But the Green Bay Packers, that's that type of team. They got a whole bunch of 6, 7, and 8s, just solid, the core of it. And that shows you why they were winning games last year, and they continue on that path this year. And they're going to be successful. They're going to go 10-7. The reason why they're not going to make any progress this year, even though I believe it's going to be progress, but the difference is they're going to have even tougher competition in the division. When you have the Chicago Bears lurking around the way that they do, you just look for them to rumble and make some noise that can really knock teams like Green Bay and Detroit and others in the Vikings down, okay? But Green Bay does make the playoffs as a wild card team, 10-7. Then at 5, yes, I know people are like, oh, something's wrong with this guy to have the Detroit Lions at 11-6. First of all, 11-6 is a great record. It's a great record. But I'll tell you what, the Lions are ready to compete as well. But can they get over the hump of the San Francisco 49ers? I'm not sure. But before we even dive to the 49ers, we have to talk about the fact that their division is much harder. And I feel like the Chicago Bears might have the best roster in the division, if you ask me. They might have the best roster in the division, and they're going to start and end depending on how well their quarterback plays. So Detroit still has a successful season at 11-6, but that division just got tougher. So games get tougher, and again, it becomes tougher to win, okay? So I got the Detroit Lions making a wild card at 11-6, led by Jared Goff and company, and that's still a success for them. It's just that they will be passed up, and we'll discuss that in a moment. All right, 4th seed in the playoffs will be the Atlanta Falcons. I feel like they've done enough to just blow past the Saints, the Bucks, and that whole division. They've done enough. Kirk Cousins already leading the way made him a contender, but when you add guys like Matthew Judon, you add some safety help, you add some O-line help. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons are the team that a lot of people are going to sleep on, but you're going to look up at the end of December and say, man, they literally look like they might win the division, and they are. They are a better team than the Bucs, and the Bucs are the only team that threaten them, in my opinion, in the division. But they are a better team than the Bucs. I think Baker Mayfield and company, they're gonna have a 10-7 season like I had, but they're not gonna amount to the playoffs. And the Atlanta Falcons are gonna get in at 11-6, and that's what they invested in to try to make a run right now. Now, is it good enough to win a Super Bowl? I don't know about that, but they do start at home week 1 of the playoffs in the wild card round. All right, next up, the surprise on this list that'll probably have everybody saying this is a ridiculous list, but I truly do believe it. I truly do believe it. The Chicago Bears will win their division over Green Bay and the Lions and Minnesota, obviously, and they will go 11-6. They will tie with the Lions, but win the tiebreaker due to the divisional record in the head-to-head matchups. This team will go as Caleb Williams goes. And the reason why I'm so high on the Bears is because in preseason, and I know, that was just preseason, but when you see what I saw, it doesn't matter if it was just preseason. I saw Patrick Mahomes intangibles inside of Caleb Williams. And if any of that reflects in the regular season, they are going to win that division, ladies and gentlemen. He has the weapons. He has the defense. This team is loaded. The only thing that can stop them is the coaching staff, and we shall see what that turns out to be. But I am high on the Bears right now. We'll see what they end up becoming when it's all said and done. All right. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles winning the division, ladies and gentlemen, at 12-5. All right, so the Philadelphia Eagles, I look for them to get healthy and get back to what they've done over the last couple of years, minus last year when they just fell off a cliff, in my opinion. But I think the key here in Philly, bringing back Vic Fangio to bring that style of defense and that balance is going to be important. I think that Fangio is the key. The way that he sets the defensive side of the ball up and the way that he allows his players to be sound, it's like a bend but don't break, but at the same token does not give up tons of points and things of that nature. They're going to be really good defensively, and look for that offensive squad to finally get going like they used to. It's all on Jalen Hurts. He has to ball out and get to prominence. He needs to see, the thing is, we automatically gave Jalen Hurts his flowers because he made it to a Super Bowl. And that's where the mistake was made. It's time for Jalen Hurts to take the next level, and I believe he will. Now, a lot of people don't realize there is another level for him. Do not think the best you've seen from him is the best he has to come. If you do, you're selling him short and yourself. He has more in him, and I think this year it will be unleashed. He gets his weapons back on some new extensions. They bring in Pollard with the run game. I just think that overall the Eagles are going to fly, and they're going to be almost at the top in the number 2 seed. All right. 12-5 for the Eagles. Let's see how that works out. And then last but not least, the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC going 14-3. I have no reason to believe that they won't repeat what they've been repeating over the last several years. This team is coached well. They just locked down Ayuk. The offensive system is exactly the same and will continue to be the same. And you cannot stop them unless they have injured players or it's in a Super Bowl. It's that simple. They only lose when players get hurt and in the Super Bowl. So they're going to be the number 1 seed. I know everyone's saying, yeah, but that Trent Williams situation, the San Francisco 49ers will resolve that before the kickoff, okay? It will be resolved before kickoff. If not, that is a major concern, but the 49ers do not want to go through life without Trent Williams and play those games, and I don't think they will. I think it will get resolved. It will get resolved over the next 2 days so that when they return on Tuesday, because tomorrow's a holiday, some teams may have off, maybe not. But when they get back in the building, that should be resolved, and the 49ers pick up where they left off. And can Purdy elevate his game to a new level? It's already at a high efficient level, but can he elevate it to a whole new level to show people he's not just a system quarterback, but he can have some carry ability as well? We shall see, but the 49ers, I believe, will be at the very top of the NFL from a record standpoint. And Baltimore, number 2, Kansas City and Philly, number 3 and 4, Miami, Chicago, Houston, Atlanta, Jets, Detroit, and Cleveland, all at 11 and 6, and Green Bay, Dallas, and the Bengals at 10 and 7. These are your playoff early predictions right here at Roundtable Sports, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. Thank you for watching Roundtable Sports. We'll see you all soon. Peace. We're out.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.